What's good, YouTube? DM Gaming here. Hope everybody's having an awesome day, morning, afternoon, evening, night, whenever it is that you're watching this video. Guys, in today's video, I want to talk about recruiting. Now that we've got a little bit more information on it from the Dynasty Deep Dive, and really kind of break it down and discuss ways that you can have a leg up and better understand recruiting going in, so that when the game comes out and you play through your dynasty, and as your dynasty is going on, you can be better suited for success in the best way possible. Now, I know that the game isn't out and things like that, but guys, we know how recruiting is going to work. You have high school recruiting and you have the transfer portal. In high school, you'll be able to recruit throughout the season. Okay, you have to get to know the recruits first to know if they're a fit for your system. A lot of people are going to just jump into recruiting and they're going to just try to sign the highest rated stars for their team. But those of y'all who have been watching this channel, I really feel that you're going to have a leg up in recruiting because you understand that you're going to be needing to find the right guys for your scheme. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, or if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on that bell icon so you don't miss a single upload. Other than that, man, if you ain't trying to subscribe to the channel, hey, hit the portal, man. Hit the portal because we don't need you. You know what I'm saying? So as far as recruiting goes, understanding, guys, that from the playbook series that you're going to have to find players to fit your scheme. While that is an actual attribute as far as recruiting, it's not going to be prominent for each and every player. Understanding that, that's fine. However, if you are going to be successful in this game, be it offense, defense, or both, you're going to have to find guys to fit your scheme. So that's the first step in recruiting. You need to find somebody, a player that is going to fit your scheme. If you're running an option style offense, you don't need a pocket passing style quarterback. You don't even need a quarterback that can throw the ball very well. So attacking a 4- and 5-star quarterback, that's probably not going to be your best bet. You can find a very fast, athletic, mobile quarterback that's a 2, maybe 3-star athlete. Even that, you can find a literal athlete and move him to the quarterback position for running that offense. Does that make sense? So even with your receivers, your running backs, your linemen, understand whatever offensive system you run, whatever defensive system you run, know your system, know the type of players that you're going to need, and go after those players. Don't go after a player that you don't need. Okay. If you are running a veer and shoot style of offense, you're going to need some quick receivers that can get open fast because those choice routes need to happen in a hurry. So you maybe don't want to go after a big time 6'5" possession wide receiver. Central Florida is probably going to be a very helpful recruiting bed for you because you're going to find those smaller, quicker receivers that you're going to need. Yeah, you may need a tall guy that can go up and get the ball as an outside receiver and things like that, but it goes back to just understanding your personnel. I don't need a big bruiser in the run game if I'm going to be running a zone scheme or something like that. If I want to stretch the defense, if I want to make big plays, if I'm running up tempo, I don't need slow players for that. I need some players that can move, that can hit big plays in a hurry. But if your offensive scheme is to tic-tac down the field, then yeah, go after those types of guys. Same thing defensively. If I'm running a 4-2-5 defense, I need 5 defensive backs. I'm going to need some guys that can cover, some guys that can play good in zone, because in a 4-2-5, you're going to play a lot of zone concepts as opposed to a 4-3 where, yeah, you're going to need some guys who can play more man concepts. Does that make sense? Understand your player needs. Go after those players. Don't get caught up with the glitz and glamour in the recruiting portion of the game, just trying to, I signed the biggest 4-star and the biggest 5-star guys. Understand those things. And the reason I have Saban and Coach Prime in the thumbnail is because, guys, this game is set up to where you have the high school recruiting and you have the transfer portal. You need to understand going in, what type of coach are you going to be? What are the needs for your program? If you are patient and you want to really, really build a team, then you need to focus on the high school recruiting, and you can develop those players into the players that you want them to be, as opposed to if you're trying to win right now. You know, the transfer portal is your best friend. You can dibble and dabble in both, but you're going to have more strength if you focus on one as opposed to the other. You can't be a Saban and a Prom. You're going to have to be one or the other. And that's just understanding your team needs. If you want to win now, the portal is going to be your best bet to make that happen. Why? Because the game is structured in a way that freshmen, their composure, it gets wrecked a lot easier than an upperclassman that you would get out of the portal. Vice versa, the guys out of the portal, you may be tough to keep them on the roster because, hey, they entered the portal for a reason. Does that make sense? So understanding your team needs and understanding the goal of your program is going to be monumentally key in being successful in recruiting. So as far as the transfer portal goes, like I said, if you want to be successful now, that's a good way to go because these players are proven. They're going to have higher overalls. Okay, and they're going to come with more attributes and things like that, as opposed to recruiting wise, you really kind of don't know what you get. You're going to have to spend more time. It's going to be tough to dibble and dabble in both because your time is going to be limited. This is exponentially more important for smaller programs. Why? Because we know that the smaller programs are not going to be able to have the same resources as the big time programs. You may have 500 recruiting hours, where a school like Ohio State and Alabama is going to have 1,000, 1,200, 1,300 hours. It's going to be very important. The reason I stress that is because a lot of us are doing rebuilds. Some of us are going to be picking smaller schools. So understand, it's going to be even more important for you to pay attention to the way that recruiting is going to be for you. Okay. And understand, being at a smaller school, just because these guys are in the transfer portal, don't mean that they want to come to a smaller program. Understand those things. So what type of coach are you going to be? Are you going to be a Saban who perfected dang near, was one of the best recruiters out of high school? Or are you going to be a Coach Prime type guy who's been one of the most successful coaches in the transfer portal? All of those things are important. All those things are necessary. And guys, like I said, if y'all have been watching the channel, y'all have been paying attention to the playbook series and things like that, you should understand by now what type of players that you want to go after. Because there are going to be a lot of guys who are not knowledgeable in that aspect, and they're just going to try to sign the best players possible, and they're not going to pay attention to the type of players that they're signing. Their archetypes matter in this game, and I'm so glad that they presented archetypes in this game, because even before knowing that, we were already talking about that in the playbook series, telling you what type of players fit what types of systems and schemes. And if you're still confused on that, check out the playbook series on the channel, or you can just ask me in the comment section and I'll be happy to answer those for you. But knowing that going in, guys, you can get a leg up in recruiting and be more successful. Set yourself up for more success, because you're going to understand that it's not all about getting the top rated players in the country. It's about getting the players that are right for the system that you want to run, the system that you want to implement. That's going to get you a lot further than just signing the best recruit. You'll turn into one of those NFL teams that just, oh, this is the best player in the draft, and that player doesn't fit your system, and then you're stuck with a player that's not fit for your system, and the player doesn't be successful, the program isn't successful. Understand these things going in, guys, and this is going to be the key to success. Recruiting in this game is the true game changer, and if you master it early, you are going to have amazing success. Keep that in mind, guys. That's all I got for right now, man. I hope y'all have an amazing rest of your day. Till next time, thanks for watching. Peace.